you and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Now we are going to talk about the sustainable mobility, in particular concerning cars and personal mobility. First of all, it's important to underline that there are two different aspects to analyze, with different impacts but with the same relevance. The air quality safeguard, especially regarding the metropolitan area and in the big cities, the greenhouse effect that is the main responsible for global warming. Gas emissions have hardly decreased in the last 3 decades due to stricter limits set by international intergovernmental organizations according with scientific analysis. Regarding the air pollution, for example, for the air quality in the metropolitan areas, it's crucial to reduce some emissions factors or chemical substance, not only related to the automotive transportation, but also to the human activities in general, such as industrial production, house heating, and so on. You probably don't know exactly what does it mean particulate matter or nitrogen oxides, but are often mentioned in newspapers to describe the air status in your town. As you probably know, to face the greenhouse effect, the key aspect is to reduce the worldwide production of CO2, fixing stricter limits not only for cars, but in general for the industry and many other human activities in which the final result of a combustion is the carbon dioxide. Car industry has to react to the more stringent limits fixed by local governments, designing cars, engines, system and components compliant to the homologation standard requirements. In this graphic, you can see the percentage reduction of some pollutant agents according to the European Community legal framework. Through 3 decades, the percentage reduction will be 96% for the hydrocarbons and nitrogen oxide, while for the particulate matter, we have to achieve 98% within 2014 with the arrival of Euro 6 regulation. Regarding the CO2 scenario, car manufacturers will have to slash their average fleet emissions. According to European regulation, all new vehicles registered in European countries will have to respect a limit value curve of permitted emission of CO2 based on their weight. The target is fixed at 130 grams per kilometer and starting from this year. The non-compliance with the emissions limit is disincentivized by huge financial penalties for the car maker. During the phase-in period, until 2014, it is possible to account only a partial part of the manufacturer's fleet. The next step will be a further CO2 emission reduction limit, scheduled for 2020, fixed at 95 grams per kilometer. To fulfill these important requirements, there is more than one solution. A recent communication from European Community defines the European strategy on clean and energy-efficient vehicles, setting two paths, both technologically neutral, that should be followed simultaneously. The continuous improvement to promote clean and efficient vehicles based on conventional engines. The second one is a breakthrough to facilitate the implementation of innovative technologies and breakthrough solutions. Let me underline the concept of neutrality mentioned in the communication. The meaning is that it is mandatory to achieve the final target, not which kind of technical solution we use to reach the goal. Some example of what car manufacturers are doing to improve both fuel economy and gas emissions. First of all, we have to design an high-efficient car, improving the vehicle road load. That basically means aerodynamics optimization and friction reduction. From the aerodynamic standpoint, the challenge is to ensure at the same time the exterior style appealing, the interior roominess, and the drag coefficient, designing a very fluent body and taking into account every small detail also in the mechanical side, for example with a specific underfloor layout or adapting an active shutter grid on the front. In order to reduce the friction, there is a continuous improvement on green tire speed that allows to combine comfort, road holding, and lower rolling resistance. The start and stop device that stops the engine when the car is stopped in the traffic jam permits a huge fuel saving in the city drag condition. Talking about powertrain, the downsizing concept that allows to improve both the fuel economy and the fun to drive applying the turbo technology on petrol engines is becoming more and more diffused. There is a large diffusion of high-efficiency diesel engines based on the continuous improvement of the variable turbo geometry technology. This means a higher low-end torque and more flexibility to manage the performance and fuel economy trade-off. Another important strategy is the implementation of high-precision control of the mixture inside the combustion chamber, due to innovative systems that allow advanced valve control in any drive conditions, or the gasoline direct injection to guarantee the ultra-lean burn. Last but not least, it's crucial to make a modern engine with a high-efficient gearbox, such as the dual-clutch transmission, that allows to improve both the fuel economy and fun to drive, maintaining the same level comfort of a traditional hydraulic automatic gearbox. Talking about the innovation category, there is a plethora of potential technological breakthrough, but in comparison with the previous page, the biggest challenge is not inside the car industry, but outside of it. In fact, we have to take in account also the infrastructure, the energy production policy, the overall mobility issues, involving in the strategic view all the stakeholders to guarantee an harmonious innovation path toward a tomorrow's society. This is true for the alternative fuels, a key element to ensure an immediate diffusion of eco-innovations. We need an improvement in terms of distribution network and, in the case of biofuels, a government policy to pursue the positive effect in not using fossil source of energy. As you probably know, the biofuel is a renewable source of energy, is less expensive to manufacture, reduce the carbon emission. Another key aspect is the development of hybrids and pure electric vehicles. That means not only a technological breakthrough for a car maker, but also a change of perspective inside the transportation community. Will be crucial to include in the strategic roadmap the engineering know-how, the local government guidelines, the distribution network development plan, the source of energy scenario, and so on. Just a few words to explain how Fiat is applying the guidelines. We are offering the start and stop system in all mini, small, and compact models in the current product lineup. Regarding the downsizing, the two-cylinder twin air is a good example of this concept and won the Engine of the Year award last year. On the diesel side, as you probably know, Fiat invented the common rail technology, and the continuous improvement of the multi-jet technology permits us to maintain the leadership. Multi-air is the most advanced system for continuous valve control, and the 1.4 multi-air turbo won again the Engine of the Year in 2010. Recently, the Alfa Romeo launched both the Giulietta and Mito with the Alpha Twin Clutch technology. That is the first application of the dry dual clutch gearbox in Fiat Group. Let me point out the importance of the natural power technology that permits us to offer the wider range of vehicles from the mini segment to the light commercial vehicle, powered with the ecological methane fuel system. The natural power is the symbol of our strategy in terms of ecomobility. Fiat believes that methane engines are the most appropriate technological choice for the immediate future to contribute to solving the problem of pollution in cities, because the methane is the cleanest fuel available now, and it is an affordable solution for the customer of all vehicle types, from small cars to professional vehicles. Let me give an example of what is possible to reach with a downsizing technology. In this chart, we compare two similar cars, the old Fiat Punto Sporting powered by the 16 valves engine and the new Punto powered by the brand new twin-air turbo engine. 25 years later, the new Punto has a bigger size to guarantee more comfort, offers the same power level, but the engine delivers 28% more in terms of torque. That means more fun to drive for the customer, and permits to reduce more than 40% the CO2 emission and consequently the fuel consumption of the car. So, what next? We have to design our future in a very open way. We need to apply an integrated approach. Sorry. This is the last chart, sorry. So what next? We have to design our future in a very open way. We need to apply an integrated approach to imagine tomorrow's car with the right technologies and the nice features, the tomorrow city developed to rethink the urban mobility. But considering the final effect, probably the most effective technology that we can put in our vehicles is the driver, that will play a key role in the world of future mobility, a more conscious customer able to interact in an effective manner with his car and to interpret what is happening on the road. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Maurizio.
Thank you very much, Maurizio.
I would now like to invite Massimo to take the floor to introduce EcoDrive. Massimo, if you please.
Good afternoon. Well, as Maurizio was saying, EcoDrive is part of the driver's behavior, and when we launched 4 years ago EcoDrive, we started from some key elements. Well, as you heard, Fiat has a green global footprint, because for the 5th year in a row, Fiat is the greenest brand, Fiat Group is the greenest car maker, and Fiat 500 is the greenest car in the world. So Fiat has a green footprint that led us to look at eco-features. As you can see, eco-features are driving the purchase process. So almost everyone, since some years, is interested in eco-features when buying a car. So we are not saying here any eco-features, but somehow when a driver is going to pick up a car, is also looking for an eco-footprint. Unfortunately, the willingness to pay for the eco-friendly features is decreasing. It means that eco-features are becoming a commodity, and the customers are kind of expecting this technology to be in the car. And as you saw from Maurizio's presentation, Fiat is really pushing eco-features to be in that car. So another thing that we took into account when realizing the EcoDrive is linking two passion points. One is the fuel efficiency, that is rising importance in the customers, and so the green, the eco, and let's say the environment, and we linked it to the digital age. So as you probably know, from next year, everyone who is driving a car is a digital native, because if we say that internet was roughly born in 95, from next year everyone will be a digital native. So combining green, digital, and the eco footprint that Fiat has, we combined those elements and worked both on technical innovations that you saw in the previous presentation, but moreover, we added the driver's behavior, because to get a real eco car, we cannot just rely on technology, but we need also to rely on the drivers. This doesn't mean that eco-driving should be boring. That's why how we developed the product, our eco-drive system, keeping in mind that eco-driving doesn't mean to go slow or to drive in a, let's say, boring way. We think that eco-drive, it should be fun. That's why we developed this product. And now let me show how eco-drive works.
At Fiat, we've always made compact, practical and economical cars. Today, as we all start to think more carefully about our impacts on the environment, this philosophy is more relevant than ever. We are proud to have the lowest average CO2 emissions of any car manufacturer in Europe, and now we want to help improve your fuel efficiency even further with an innovation we've called EcoDrive. EcoDrive is an easy-to-use computer application that will help you improve how efficiently you drive. It analyses your driving style and helps you to use less fuel, reducing your CO2 emissions and saving you money, up to 15% if used effectively. How does it work? Easy. You just download the application from the Fiat website onto your computer. You then plug any USB stick into the Blue and Me port of your Fiat, and information on the way you drive will be saved to it automatically. You then plug the stick back into your computer and the information uploads into the EcoDrive application. Our technology then gets to work, converting your data into useful facts and figures. It's completely anonymous, so no one else sees your details. EcoDrive analyses your driving technique and marks it out of 100, giving you a score called your Eco Index. It shows how efficiently you've driven based on your acceleration, deceleration, gear changes and speed. Clever step-by-step tutorials then help you improve your score by showing you how to improve your driving using information from your own journeys. There are lots of other ways to use EcoDrive too. You can monitor the total number of miles you drive, your CO2 emissions, and the money you've saved. You can even track your progress over time and set yourself challenges to improve your Eco-Index score. You'll also be part of a unique online community called Ecoville that's populated by all the Fiat eco-drivers around the world. As more drivers join, the community grows, and so do the savings we're all achieving together. EcoDrive is an industry first. As a beta version, it'll evolve and develop as more people use it and come back with new ideas. The technology is complex, but the result is simple. You and many other drivers like you save money and reduce your carbon footprint. And if each of us makes just a few small changes, together we'll create a world of difference. EcoDrive is free and ready to download now. See you in Ecoville.
So this simple videos shows how is working EcoDrive. Just to recap briefly, EcoDrive is split into 4 steps. The step 1 is an application that is on our current telematics platform called Blue and Me, and it's recording the driving data. Then in step 2, you collect the data from your car, both using an USB stick or a mobile phone, and then you upload all the driving data to the server system. That is step 3, using both your laptop or your mobile phone. The server is analyzing your driving data, and it's coming out with some ratings based on the way you drive, and you get an overall eco index to see how you drive. We take into account 4 metrics. Acceleration, so the way you accelerate your car. Deceleration, so how fast and how strong you decelerate. The gear shift, so the way you are gear shifting, if you are, let's say, in the right gear at the right time. And then the speed, but it's not meaning a low or high speed, but it's, let's say, the mean speed in the gear and in the way you are driving. So combining these 4 metrics, we arrive to an overall eco index. What I'd like to note is also after Maurizio's presentation is that EcoDrive is completely free. If we compare EcoDrive to other green technologies, you can see that you could have some technologies that probably are, let's say, more green, but at an additional cost that could go to the 10 or 20% of the price of the car. So we believe that EcoDrive is a great innovation from Fiat because at no extra cost for the user, it's helping the environment and it's helping the driver to learn how to EcoDrive. Currently, EcoDrive is available on all Fiat portfolio. Next vehicle will be the brand new Panda that Fiat launched in the last weeks. And it's also available on all the Fiat professional portfolio, so also for our professional vehicles. Then, for fleet managers, we have also an online portal that in near real time is collecting all the data of the drivers, so all the fleet in one screenshot and one page, and you instantly know how much you saved, how much CO2 you saved, how much money, and which is the eco index of your fleet in a dedicated dashboard. Well, we are currently working on some new innovations because EcoDrive has been a huge success, and we believe that being Fiat a green car maker, we need to improve, and we are working on some great news. One is linking the location-based services, so the GPS, to EcoDrive, because in this moment you get recommendation for one journey, so where you started and when you arrive. What we are working on is mapping also your journey and giving you personalized advices based on your journey. Then we are also expanding the way you could use EcoDrive, so not just with your laptop, but also with your mobile. There is the EcoDrive official Fiat application directly on the Android, or better Google Play App Store, and an iPad application on Apple App Store. We are also working on BlackBerry and Symbian that are coming soon in next weeks, and we think that being smartphones, let's say the future of mobility, when we speak about mobility, we think that the EcoDrive mobile is a great example of how you can, let's say, learn even when you are on the go. Then, going back to is EcoDrive boring? No, it shouldn't. That's why we are creating a social challenge within EcoDrive. So we are creating rewards, we are creating badges, and people will be able to challenge their friends or even people they don't know. So let's say that Turin versus Rome or Panda versus Punto in the EcoDrive style. So if you are interested in doing more, you can go to fiat.com/EcoDrive website, where you will find some insights and some information more. So I leave the word to Charles for the Q&A session. Thanks. Okay.
Thank you very much, Massimo. I would now like to open the floor to the questions. The experts will be reading the questions that appear in the note-taking box at the top right. Please, starting with question 1 at the top.
Okay, question 1. Are biofuels a realistic solution for sustainable mobility? I have to split the answer in two different parts, because from the technical point of view, the answer is yes, absolutely. Because first of all, we can use the same engine already installed in our cars. We can use the same distribution network of the methane that is already present in our cities. But as I said before, it's also important, including this consideration, also the infrastructure. So for the future, will be mandatory to understand the policy for the local government, to understand if it's possible to increase the production of biofuels, also because we can reach two different effects. First of all, we can reduce the CO2 inside cars, but also we can filter the CO2 emission from the natural sources, obviously with a double effect for the final result. Question number 2. Are there moves to have a stop-start system that is active all the time? At present, it deactivates if there is too much load on the battery. So this is an interesting question, and when we start with the development of start and stop system, we decide to have a smooth introduction in our cars in order to avoid any negative comments by the customer. So the original concept was to not interfere with the comfort level of the car and safety level of the car, the safety condition during the normal driving. And now, after many years of technical experience and relationship with the customer, we are developing some improvements just to have the better solution to reach both the best target in terms of CO2 reduction and also a comfort behavior of the system.
Okay, so question number 3. Was EcoDrive developed using the telemetry expertise acquired in Formula One with Ferrari? Well, Fiat Group has several branches, as you know, so it wasn't meant to be, let's say, a sport telemetry, but of course the knowledge that the group is gaining in all fields where we are present is shared between our engineers. So even if EcoDrive is not a sport application, the knowledge that we acquire in sports and other, let's say, fields where Fiat is currently present is used. And going to question number 4, that is EcoDrive software available for the new Lancia Y? Currently, EcoDrive is present and available on all Fiat portfolio brands, but of course we are working to extend not only the chance that the users have to use mobile, social, and things like that we have seen, but also as a brand extension. So it's not currently available, but we are working on that.
Okay, so now we can we can analyze the question number 5. Does Fiat believe in electric vehicles and hybrid? Obviously, we believe that from the technical point of view, all the breakthrough, all the technological possibility are helpful to reach the final target. But again, as I said before, the main issue is not about the technical innovation. When we talk about the hybrid cars or full electric vehicles, it's important to have a coherent approach, taking in account also the infrastructure. So we are developing obviously our experimental cars. We are analyzing which is available on the market now, and probably you know that we are working on the 500 electric vehicle, and we are studying a lot of solutions, but we think that the market is not ready to accept the electric vehicle with this price position and with this kind of eco-mobility in general in our cities.
Linking also the question number 5, so does it think eco-drive can be extended to that type of vehicle? Of course it is. We are currently working on several kinds of engines and of fuels. So eco-drive is now working on methane, ethanol in Brazil, gasoline, diesel, and when there will be new kind of engines, of course eco-drive will play its role. In example, of course the electric vehicle, it's not a matter of CO2 saved, it's a matter of energy saved. So you are, let's say, going farther and you can drive more if you eco-drive. Actually, going to question number 6, how many people use eco-drive? So actually, eco-drive has a penetration of around 10% of the Blue and Me equipped vehicles. We are currently working to expand because, as you will see in the second webinar, the results of eco-driving, both in terms of CO2 saved and in terms of money saved, are huge. So we are trying to improve the penetration, and I think that these kind of webinars are also helpful to raise the knowledge about the driver behavior, because as I was saying, we can, as a car maker, we can work on the technology side, but a big role is played by the driver.
Okay, question number 7. What can a driver do in order to reduce pollution? In this, taking in consideration all new technologies that we are applying on new cars, first of all, the future driver has to be more in line with the technical equipment of the car. I mean, if we can apply a contemporary interpretation of the downsizing engine, make it with a modern automatic gearbox, it's important to understand that this kind of innovation, in which way is possible to manage for the driver. And the first small element is the gear shift indicator inside the instrument cluster that give to the customer an hint to use in a proper way the gearbox, and this is really the first important element, but it's also important to improve the interaction between vehicle and the driver, transforming our instrument cluster from the original shape, from the original meaning, in something that is really in line with the CO2 consciousness driving of today mobility world. For instance, we can, as Massimo said before, we can give you to the customer the immediate perception on the instrument cluster of what is happening on the engine, and which is the rating for the customer in applying all the hints that the car gives to the customer.
La 8 non la risponderei, io adesso rispondo alla 7. Adding what Maurizio said, what the driver can do in order to reduce pollution, well, there are mainly two things. Pick up, let's say, an eco-technology car and behave like an eco-driver. So linking technology and driver's behavior.
So I try to answer also to the question number 8. What are the reasons behind car purchases in rich countries? What are the statistics? Just to answer in a general way, let me say, this is a crucial question, because we have to develop new cars with a lot of nice technologies inside, but we have to face the competitive arena not only in the European market but all around the world. And obviously the customer is not the same in Europe and in China. It's not the same in the US market and in Brazil. So talking in general, in Europe we are obviously very interested in the style of the car, to some traditional performance, and while in BRICS countries there is still great attention to the cost of the car, to the final price of the car, and also for the fuel economy, not only related to the CO2 manner, to the gas pollution issues, but related to the total cost of ownership of the car. So we have to manage this difference all around the world, because it's important to guarantee different values in different countries.
Non risponderei all'elettrico, non so se è importante. Okay, if there are no more questions, let's wait 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Okay, joking. Well, let's go to the final part of our webinar, that is the challenge and the prize. So it's time to play. Let me show you the game that is beyond our EcoDrive challenge. So if you go to our Facebook page, that is facebook.com/Fiat, you will see the EcoDrive with virtual challenge, and explaining what is EcoDrive and all the principles that I show today. Then there is the challenge, and you can start playing with a little tutorial, so you can pick up your sound, your engine, you can pick up if you're right or left-handed, and then you begin driving. When you drive, of course, the way you accelerate and decelerate, you have to drive without good gear shift, a good acceleration. So you can find this game on the Future Mobility Now website, and this is, let's say, the challenge. What is, let's say, included in this challenge is our, let's say, prize. So let's see how the challenge is working. From 5th of April, so today to April 27th, you can play on the Fiat EcoDrive challenge on futuremobilitynow.com, going to the EcoDrive page at the URL you are seeing on the screen. The target of the game is to beat everyone else. So as you saw, eco-driving your Fiat 500, so having a good acceleration, deceleration, gear shift, and speed profile, you can, let's say, have the lowest eco-points index possible and win a trip for 2 persons in Turin. So basically, during the second webinar that will be on the 27th of April at 4 p.m. CET, we will pick up the best eco-driver, so the person that would have scored the less eco points and the less time. So you need, let's say, to pay attention both to the eco-driving and both to the time. And you have the chance to win a trip for 2 persons in Turin. You will have a travel in Turin, that is, of course, Fiat headquartered in Europe. You will have a hotel for 2 nights, a Fiat car for the weekend with a guided tour in Turin, and, of course, during the Saturday night, a dinner in a classic historic restaurant. So I ask you to go to futuremobilitynow.com website because the challenge has started, and I wish good luck to everyone. Let's see on the 27th of April who is going to win our prize and who is the best eco-driver in the Future Mobility website. Thanks a lot.
A very special thank you to both our experts, Maurizio Consalvo and Massimo Cavazzini. The game is now readily available on the website, and you can go and find it right now. Before you all rush off to try and win the fantastic trip to Turin, I would like to point out that the next webinar is on the 27th of April 2012. And it will feature one of the same experts and go more into detail about how sustainable mobility is a real future solution for sustaining individual personal mobility in Europe. Thank you very much, and have a very good afternoon. Happy Easter. Goodbye.
Ciao. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.